The Iranian hostage crisis. On November 4th, 1979, Ibrahim Asghardeh led a furious mob of about 400 students following the Imam's line down the Talakhani Street to the U.S. Embassy in Tehran. The students took the embassy and held the 52 civilians in it hostage and began a 444-day siege that humiliated America and cemented a new political order in Iran. The original plan was to hold the embassy for 3 days. "I didn't think that it would lead to the deep-rooted conflict with America that still exists," Asghardeh explains. Unfortunately, the students were carried away by public interest, and 3 days turned into over a year. When news of the crisis reached the United States, they immediately decided that military action was too risky. President Jimmy Carter felt that the hostages' safety was his own personal responsibility and decided to freeze the U.S.'s assets with Iran, therefore putting it in economic pressure. Immediately after the hostages were taken, the students demanded that their despised Shah, who is currently in America undergoing cancer treatment after being run out of Iran 9 months earlier, be returned to them. The president refused, mostly because at the time hundreds of the Shah's former colleagues had been jailed or executed. Meanwhile, Secretary of State Cyrus Vance attempted to negotiate with the Iranian government, while Hamilton Jordan spent most of his time working on secret channels. Americans rallied around President Carter in the first few months of the crisis, seeing as he had made the hostage situation his #1 priority. 4 weeks after the hostage-taking, Iran's Foreign Minister Sadegh Ghozadeh made an announcement about the hostages. "Many will be released," he explained, "but an undisclosed number will be tried as spies." These very same trials have sentenced around 630 Iranians to execution. The threat of death trials spurred the Carter administration to keep the world's attention on the hostages and help President Carter's re-election campaign. Vice President Walter Mondale said, "Even prisoners of war are guaranteed certain standards of human treatment, but these standards are being dragged in the dirt." Later, the president authorized a desperate rescue mission to free the hostages, which ended in tragedy when a freak dust storm caused several helicopters to set down or turn back. Or crash. The mission was aborted. The crisis did not bode well for Jimmy Carter's re-election campaign. This, combined with problems with the economy and the fact that the Democratic Party had nominated Ted Kennedy for president, crushed him. And yet, the hostage crisis was one of the things that helped Ronald Reagan destroy Ted Kennedy in the primaries. As a final humiliation to Carter, Iran released the hostages the day that the man who defeated him, Ronald Reagan, was sworn in as the 40th President of the United States.